Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name's Christiana Davidson. I'm a psychotherapist and a hypnotherapist. And my area of specialism, as you know, is this whole area of, childhood family dysfunction, particularly those that come from a narcissistic family system and the impact of that on us as adults. Um, so the topic for today comes from a Facebook post that I put up yesterday, I think it was, and I asked the question, what would home mean for you? And thank you to all those that commented and shared their thoughts and what feelings the word home brings up for them. Um, you know, it's my belief that the search for home to be at home is in all of us. But it's particularly a strong drive, it's particularly apparent in those that came from dysfunctional narcissistic family systems. So, why do I say this? Well, you see, when you come from a family like that, a family with lots of dysfunction, home was always under threat. It was always under threat of no longer being there. You see, the home that you grew up in was liable to fall apart due to the unhealthy, toxic, non-existent, often, relationship of the parents. So every time your parents argued when you were growing up, every time even just one of them was unhappy, they were upset or angry, it was almost as if someone had turned the sirens on and the bombs were about to drop, and it could all be smashed to smithereens any minute. So when your parents began to argue or when one was upset, it was subconsciously like a trigger for you that this has the potential to be the catalyst for us no longer having a home, for me no longer having a place of safety. And for a child, that's terrible. Their whole world is the home, really. Those that commented on my Facebook page, these were some of the things that they suggested came up for them when they thought of home. So one said it was a particular familiar country that meant home for him. Another said it was just a place to sleep, a regular place to sleep, maybe a familiar place to sleep, a safe place, a place where you won't be uprooted, a place where you can sleep well, a place of peace and comfort, love, security, joy, and I love the last one, a place where there's a bit of a mess at times. For some, though, some who commented, they found it really hard to connect with the word home. It's as if at the moment, there's a sense of being homeless, of not actually having a connection with a feeling of home. When you're in a narcissistic family system, when you grow up in one, you see, you would have times of feeling those things, of feeling, peaceful, calm. It's a place of safety. It's familiar. It's my place where I belong. I can sleep well here. I get a bit of love here and there. I get some comfort. But the thing is, you were never, ever sure of how long that was going to last, because you would suddenly quite often find yourself bracing yourself for another argument, another eruption from mum or dad or both, or just one where mum was, I don't know, slamming around in the kitchen or venting her anger. Dad started to rage after, drinking too much. So the home that you grew up in these narcissistic systems was a mixture. But these times of potential falling apart would have caused a CPTSD reaction in the children. Many of my clients report, even talking about it brings up feelings of sort of the gut, almost like their stomachs tighten. If I say, where do you feel this angst? And it's usually in the stomach. It's like the core goes into freeze mode almost. Everything tenses up. So in these, if this was you, this was your family environment, your drive to protect the times of peace, to protect your home, therefore, and to maintain the home became your reason for living. It was your means of survival. So home was the most important thing for you to hold together as a child. And so you learned or tried to figure out ways that you could minimize the potential of it all falling apart. And whether that meant you had to adapt your behavior or you had to be on alert and try to respond, children find ways of doing that. And they're usually maladaptive ways. It's ways that cause them to abandon themselves and just go into, trauma response. Okay, what do we do? Let's batten down the hatches and, try and hold everything and everyone together. Often many of my clients resort to codependency. This is kind of the breeding ground of the codependent, responding to the needs and moods, reactions of others, and trying to manage them, trying to keep the peaceful home at all costs. So look, when we begin to heal these wounds of childhood, these traumas, we really do need to, first of all, look at, the concept of home, or the home that we have now. Is the home that I'm in now, how does that mirror either a repetition of my childhood home that was prone to these terrifying episodes, or how does my home at present perhaps in some ways defend me against being in that situation? So that might mean that you've spent your whole life living alone so that you don't have to manage these eruptions. Or are you in a home where these eruptions are a familiar part again, and you're in that home because it's familiar? It's on one hand, it can be a source of safety, but it's also a deeply stressful place. So this word home, it's at the heart of so much. We're all looking for it, I believe. When will I find I'm home? I'm finally home. My views would be that it perhaps not so much in this life, but maybe in the next. However, that's only my opinion. And I'm left thinking about that phrase, home is where the heart is. Where is your heart? And if we think about it, really, your heart's in you, my heart's in me. So I need to find my home in me. But that's not to say that we can't find it in other people too. We're born to be in relationship. We're born to find home with another. So it's a bit of both, really. It's finding it in here first, I think, which allows us then to find a secure home in another. I'd love to know your comments, everyone. So if you have a moment, please do leave them. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you to all those who already have done so and have commented in the past. I look forward to seeing you in another video. And if you have any topics you think would be great to discuss, send them my way. Have a great day. Take care. Bye now.